What's up, my beautiful people? We are here to talk about February's energies. This is going to be a very, very interesting month, a very transitional. This is where we really take the energies from last year and shift them into the future. So it could be a little disorienting, a little weird, a little crazy, almost like Blade Runner-ish, but that's okay. We got this, right? So before I get into the energies, don't forget, figure out the background, the vibration, the energy of the background. This may take some meditation, okay, before you get into it. But here, move out of the way. Okay, so you guys can see, feel into it. All right, feel into the energy, meditate on it, see what you feel. Feel into the energy that I'm bringing out to you guys. Okay, really tap in. Like when I channel, I don't really think. It's just coming through me. Feel into the emotion or just the vibration of what you think it is and I'm feeling, and see if we're on the same page. Okay, so February is Aquarius. Basically, like we're going to be experiencing all these energies, a lot of them communicating in Aquarius, with Mercury now retrograde in Aquarius. By the way, happy birthday to all my Aquarians. And of course, we're going to also be going into Pisces season this month. So happy birthday to all my beautiful Pisces as well. So we basically have, right now, we have four energies, four planets, four archetypes in Aquarius. And this month, Venus will be moving in there. Okay, so we're going to have five. And then we're going to have Mercury going retrograde. So it's going to be speaking to all these different energies in there. A lot of, so it's so interesting. There's a lot of like, last year it was like just hitting us, beating us down, all this Capricorn, like you got to learn. Now it's like, okay, now you're free. Now what are you going to do? Right. And I'm going to break it down into each archetype, but this is a very interesting energy of it's almost like we have a little bit of PTSD, right? We got knocked down. Like we went into situations where opportunities were presented, and then maybe they were more difficult, or maybe they didn't go the way we wanted to. Maybe love was, something that really broke down because you were not being the best version of yourself, or they weren't, and somebody had to learn a lesson. There's a lot of learned lessons last year. Last year was a lot about waking up and learning lessons. Now, this is another level where we just really finished the energies of 2020 when we had Uranus and Mars square over to Saturn and Jupiter. But that was like the pinnacle of that energy, and now we're coming into this new energy, and we're starting off the month with a bang, okay? Of course, we're starting on the day one with a yod, and then we go all the way on the 27th on the full moon at the very end of the month, the full moon in Virgo, we're going to have another yod. So, and I'll be here to talk about that then more on the full moon energy, but I'm going to go over, go into it a little bit here. So this yod here is between Mercury retrograde and Black Moon Lilith here. I'm going to bring this up so you guys can see the chart. All right, so Mercury retrograde, all right, is sextile over to Black Moon Lilith at 27 degrees of Aries. How exciting. All right, so this is communicating with, this is looking at our, the part of ourself that can get us in trouble, like that maybe impulsive area, like looking at the why the fuck do I keep doing this to myself kind of energy, right? And with Mercury in retrograde, this is the beginning where it's like something's gonna come through, and that energy, because it's also connected to the moon. This is an emotional thing. It's at 28 degrees of Virgo, which is an anorectic degree, which makes it very, very strong. Like, okay, we need to get our shit together kind of energy, right? And now with Mercury going retrograde in Aquarius, all these new Aquarian energies are going to speak to the sun, to Jupiter, to Saturn, to Venus, about what is it that we have to do or stop doing, because we keep repeating this cycle, or we keep feeding into this energy that is sort of, keeping us stuck in this cycle. Now, this is going to be bringing up either the internal prostitute, the internal wounded child, the internal saboteur or the internal victim. All right. Black Moon Lilith, I feel, is typically speaking more of either an inner prostitute or an inner saboteur. This is where we constantly just keep giving into the shiny things that give us instant gratification, that have sort of like a sexual tone to it. Right. So it could be like you doing drugs with, some friends and makes you feel spiritual and all connected. Right. Well, is that spiritual connection really spiritual, or are you just disconnecting or distracting yourself from connection and it just feels good? Okay. MDMA, ketamine, LSD, mushrooms, all these things are medicines if used respectfully and properly. However, it is when we are in our shadow, we don't see it because we typically surround ourselves with other people that are also in their shadow. So if you look at your life and you see that there's chaos or there's some kind of shit that just feels off, or it's not giving you what you feel like you need, or maybe it gave you something you thought you wanted, now it's like, oh, this is kind of feels different than what I thought I was going to do. All these things are going to be coming up and making you look at yourself, because Virgo is purification, right? It's structure, it's starting over. This is a big, massive reset. And interestingly enough, I'm actually starting a 2-week detox into a 30-day fast idea, which I'm actually going to talk about more on my Tuesday report this week. Today, I'm actually doing this on the 24th of January. Okay, so tune in. If you watch this before then, tune in to that live, and I'm going to talk about it, and sort of a whole new perspective on fasting, and it's not about food, or at least it's very little about food. Mental, physical, emotional fasting, and I'm gonna start doing a daily check-in to hold myself accountable on my Telegram. So you guys check out the Opportunity Community on Telegram. Hit me up if you need a link, or just go on there. I'm still learning how to use it, but I'm gonna start using it much more. Okay, so guys, check that out. But anyways, we're starting off the month with a bang, right? With this yod that is making us aware. Okay, now whether we choose to act on it or not is of our own free will. We all have free will, right? But this energy, if you're not used to Aquarian energy, or if you don't have Aquarian in your chart, this is going to feel very weird. It's almost going to feel like it's pulling you away from the structure of your life. But here's the thing: the only constant in life is change, right? And the structure is constantly evolving. It's constantly remolding itself according to our soul's growth, our life path growth. All right, so this is going to shake some shit up. So be ready for the shaking up of energies. I mean, but in a different way, in a new way, not like, oh, fuck, man. Like, the last year I had enough shaking. This is going to be different. This is like, okay, now we've closed out the cycle. Now, we've cleared all that karma. Now we have new karma coming in. When I say karma is not good or bad. Okay. It's sort of like the next level of the video game, right? Like my next level is my fitness, getting back into fitness. I finally started working out again. I can finally squeeze everything and it feels good, and getting back into it. And this is where my focus is starting to go, because I feel strong and I feel complete. I feel whole when I'm able to stress my body in a positive way. Okay. And I'm going to start sharing more of that too, because it's so important, especially for me after breaking down and just having my body completely break down for really the first time in my life. I've had one injury before, but it wasn't that. It was just a impingement syndrome in my left shoulder, and that was when I was in the military. So no longer in the military, and now I'm figuring this shit out on my own. And 42, the body reacts different. So I gotta, it's much more of a multi-dimensional, finding that balance to work everything into a system, if you will. Okay. Of only about 20% of it is physical activity, but you have to get your mind into the physical activity instead of just sitting around, instead of doing something like sitting down. You have to just, when you don't feel physically like ready or willing, you have to just get up and do it. So you can train your body, train your mind. Same thing with nutrition. Same thing with anything that you want in life. You have to train yourself to go after it, but go after it for you, for the sake of the discipline of being the best version of yourself, not because you're chasing something external to yourself. And we have to make these distinctions, because these distinctions are what create our reality, right? And this is all part of the process of navigating this crazy thing that we all call life. So let us proceed. All right. So on the first, we start out with the yod, then and we also have Venus now in Aquarius. Okay. So now Venus is joining the party with this Uranus and Mars square. So Venus was trine Uranus a couple months ago. Now it's coming into the square, and this Uranus Saturn square is basically going to be going on for the rest of the year. It's going to come exact here on the 15th, the first of 3. Okay, so we can kind of feel this energy because it's there pretty much all year. It's going to get strong, just going to get stronger and weaker. But as it coming up to the 15th of February, pay attention to the parts of your life that are feeling like there's one part where there's this stability and security that you want to hold on to. And this other part where your soul is saying, I need to grow. I need to be free. I need to create something new. I need to be in a new place. And this is where this push and pull, if you will, is going to be happening. And, you know, of course, we have free will to be able to do what we want to do. But if you don't choose the growth potentiating road, then that stability in itself is going to change. And it may change in ways that you don't like. It might change in ways you do like. But this is all about listening to your own heart and seeing what you really want. If this stability is going to change, if the current scaffolding is not going to hold, and it's going to, and you know, like, what about this are you going to try to hold on to? What are you going to accept, allow? What are you learning from the experience? Okay, and where is it taking you in your life? You know, there's a lot to think about. You know, Aquarius, of course, is a fixed air sign, right? So we are all being incredibly cerebral right now. If you're not used to it, I think that this is where, for me, like, my sleep issues were coming in, because suddenly my mind is just all over the fucking place, right? And I'm having to really, really focus and concentrate on slowing it down. And you know, gut health is paramount to the activity going on in the brain. I have some crazy stories that I'll tell you on a live one time. In regards to cleaning my gut and ayahuasca and all kinds of, I have so many crazy stories. It's ridiculous, because that's just, you know, I'm an intense dude. I enjoy intensity, but I enjoy depth. I'm deep. I like to go where nobody has gone before. I like to be the first one there to experience it so I can show others the way. Some people think that it's too extreme or dangerous or reckless. And I have had reckless moments or times in my life, but it's also what sets me free and what creates me. So again, it's about finding that balance, and alchemizing that energy and channeling it into productive things is the important part of this. Okay. So, and we're finally past the Neptune square, the nodes. Hallelujah. So that means that things are going to be clearing up, and that's going to make February, you know, nice and more clear and decisive. Okay. And we also have Pluto at 25 degrees now. Never been here before. And it's actually going to move all the way to 26 this month, which is pretty profound because Pluto moves hella slow, right? So anyways, moving on. Let's see what we have next. On February 5th, we have Venus conjuncting Saturn. Now, Venus conjuncting Saturn, and it's pretty much going to be square to Uranus. So we had this Venus conjunct Pluto last month, right? And that was like deep insights, deep understanding, deep awareness, deep desire for this like deeper level of connection with ourselves, with our lover, with someone, with our purpose. Okay, it can be really anything, but this is identifying and saying to ourselves, okay, we want to create something deeper. We want to really honor this feeling within ourselves and go into this and create something new so that we can feel alive again. There's this real deep desire to feel more alive in life, and Aquarius is going to do that. However, I will say that Aquarian energy will make you feel more alive, but not in the ways that you think, okay? Because this is fixed. So it's almost like you may be looking for this one feeling or this one experience, but you're actually sitting right in it and you're not realizing it because you're expecting it to be a certain way. So let go of expectations. That's the one thing about this fixed energy. It creates expectations. It creates a desire to know or need to know everything. And that can be incredibly counterproductive and counterintuitive. So Venus conjunct Saturn is going to be like, okay, well, you had this deep desire, this deep, like unraveling or opening up or, epiphany or awareness. Okay, now how are you going to discipline it? How are you going to create it? And with it square to Uranus, there's something that you have to let go of in order to be able to restructure or restabilize this in a new way in our consciousness. All right. So the 8th, the sun is going to conjunct Mercury retrograde. Now, mind you, the Mercury is going to, be conjuncting all these energies. So this is going to be like, we're going to be in our head a little bit this month. All right. This is about really overthinking. This can be analysis paralysis. And this can be also bring expectations, issues with, technology and things like that. So just be patient with yourself. This is going to be teaching us a lot of patience. Okay. But also I feel like going through this process is also going to teach us a new way to feel our own energy. There's this new energy that is abound, and it almost has to rattle us up to get us to see and understand these new fringe thresholds that we didn't know existed before. And as we acknowledge and see that, it's gonna be pretty exciting. Now we also have Chiron now at 6 degrees, which is beautiful. Now Chiron is moving forward at faster. Mars is full steam ahead. Pluto is full steam. All the planets are full steam ahead, of course, except for Mercury. So this is like we're moving very quickly into the future now. And while we get in our head, we can expect a lot of new things to be popping up. Okay. And then we have the 11th. And the 11th, Venus is going to conjunct Jupiter, and there's a new moon at 23 degrees of Aquarius. So on the same day that Venus is conjuncting Jupiter, at 12 degrees of Aquarius, we're having a new moon it's actually at 23 degrees. I got to change the time, but for the sake of the time on here, I'm not going to do that. Okay. So this is going to be, this is literally 2 degrees away from my moon. So I'm really excited for this new moon, especially because Venus and Jupiter are conjunct. Now Mercury is literally right in the middle at 16 degrees, in between the new moon and Jupiter and Venus. So it's like this newness, this shining, bright, releasing, and like new beginning. Jupiter and Venus is one of the top 3 aspects in astrology. This is highlighting our divine feminine. This is our love for humanity, right? Venus and Aquarius is all about our love for people, our love for community, our love for family, our love for the world. Now, with this being, shining down on us, this may be like, how can we help more? How can we do better out there in the world? And this new moon at 23 degrees, 23 is 5. And these new moons I can still come at that degree. It's crazy. So this is change. This is shifting. This is epiphanies. This is stepping into this new aha energy. Literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 energies right now in Aquarius. This is massive. This is some people might be feeling like they're literally tripping on psychedelics when they're not even tripping. Okay. And we also have the nodes now at 17 degrees. Now they're moving. They were stuck at like 18, 19 degrees. It seemed like for 4 months. Now that Neptune is done the square, it's like, okay, we're done now. We can go. So this can bring a lot of clarity, but then needing to revise or needing to refine or needing to like reprocess. And some almost like this could be like something comes in and it feels too good to be true. Something comes in and it's like, whoa, okay, I've wanted this for so long, but now what do I do with it? Because I honestly, I let go and I didn't expect it to happen, right? It's like almost like, okay, well, I wanted this for years, but I'm going to let that go. And then suddenly, as soon as you do that, which tends to be the case, right? That tends to be what happens. Then it's like, oh, hey, by the way, let's do this. And now you're like, fuck. Okay, well, I'd love to, but how do we do this? But a really good thing about this is that the North Node now 17 degrees is trining over to let's see, Venus, Jupiter, and Mercury. So this is like, this is calling us into our future, calling us into our destiny. We've been dealing with a lot of squares with the nodes in the last year. So this is, and quincunxes too. Last year, remember, we had Saturn and Pluto quincunx in the North Node quite a bit. Or either the quincunx or sesquiquadrate. Either way, it was more difficult. So now this Trine, this is showing like, oh, okay, things can finally get started. Things can get going. Let's make some moves here, right? And then on the 13th, we have Venus conjunct Mercury retrograde. And on the 14th, it'll be Mercury will be Mercury will be conjuncting Jupiter. All right. So because these energies are so close, we're basically going to be seeing like this big Jupiter and Venus to me represents this big, exciting new thing, revelation, new epiphany, new thing that's coming in that's going to be really without something that we're able to receive that's going to really make our hearts fulfilled. But then Mercury comes through and it's like, wait, this is great, but and then it might trigger up some things or some questions or some, okay, cool, but the logistics, how do we do this? Where do we go? What are we, what are we supposed to make happen here? So this is where we want to, just take it slow. This is all about, we're going to learn a little patience, just a little patience. Yeah. All right. So we move on to the 15th. And we have Saturn square Uranus exact. So all of this stuff is, Mercury is still kind of playing a role in here too. And we have Mars at 20 degrees, which is basically, interestingly, Mars is going to be trining Pluto this month. All right. But then it's also going to be squaring Venus and the sun, and Jupiter at some point as well. But also on the 15th, we have the moon conjunct Chiron too. Now, that's not really making any hard aspects. In fact, it's making some good aspects to Saturn. So with, Chiron is going to be basically, Chiron and Saturn move at about the same speed. So whenever the moon moves over Chiron, it's just highlighting the emotional vulnerability of who am I, right? And with it sextiling Saturn is saying, you are this. This is how you're going to structure this piece. As long as we listen to it. Because we can, like, if we're too busy distracting ourselves, if we're too busy avoiding, if we're too busy being wrapped up in shit that is just not doing anything beneficial, then we can miss a lot of these lessons, okay? Especially with Mercury being retrograde. So I would suggest or make a recommendation that this month you take a step back from like maybe if you're going out like all the time, or if you're hanging around people that are always partying and shit, or if you're just around situations or things that make you feel like it's holding you back in a way, right? Even if they're doing something that's fulfilling you in one way, but another way you're like, just something's missing, man. I don't know. If you have that, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I can't figure it out. You have to step back. You have to get to know yourself again. Like now, I know for me, like, when my sleep gets really interrupted. So I really, really have to be careful, because then if I can't sleep, I'm like, fuck, I'll do anything to sleep, right? And since I got back from Iraq, I've had sleep issues. And of course, they put me on Ambien for like 8 years, and Ambien just destroys the brain's ability to sleep. So, and I've done a lot of stuff. If any of you guys have any recommendations, the Sound Lounge has been a safe haven for me. It works a lot, but it doesn't work every time. I'm learning to use this, what me and my friend Lynn and Craig are calling the cocoon experience, which is also using brain tap, just working with the flow in the brain. I may go get CFR done again too, craniofacial release, and adjust my sphenoid bone, and that may help with the oxygen processing to help me sleep. But this is the Aquarian energy, exploring and getting out there and trying new things and seeing what works. And now when that frustration kicks in, when it's like, you have to be careful not to reach out for those things that that are not good for you. We all do it, so don't beat yourself up if you do it. However, keep this in mind and, just take it one day at a time. All right. But this is all about taking a step back and sitting with yourself the best you can with the least amount of distractions possible. That's why I'm actually going to recommend my friend David Palma. His Instagram name is Energy is Truth. And I'm doing his detox protocol starting tomorrow. So I'm going to shout that out, and I'm going to see if he's down to give a discount on the process. You can see me go through the process. And if you would like to jump on that, just get a hold of him. And but jump on my live on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific if you want to know more about that, okay? Or just message me too, and we can talk one-on-one. So let's see here. On the 18th, we have the sun moving into Pisces. So happy birthday to all my Pisces. Very, very exciting times. And okay, let's see here. Not a whole lot going on right there. But we do have Mars already in the third decan of Taurus, which is very exciting. And it's going to be making some squares, but this trine to Pluto is actually very exciting because Mars has been squaring Pluto. That Mars square Pluto, for me personally, just hit me like a sack of fucking bricks every time. So I think this is like the sunshine coming out after all those difficulties when Mars is in Aries squaring Pluto. That was it. Now that it's trining Pluto, it's like, okay, you got beat down. Now for making it through all the energy, now here's the gift. Now that here's the reciprocity. Now here's the lesson. Now here's the okay. Hallelujah. All right. So next we have the 21st. Mercury goes direct. And yet again, now we have all planets direct. That is exciting. So whatever that might have been slowed down, especially as we're processing things internally, is now going to start to click and it makes sense. But don't forget, Mercury still has to make another pass over Jupiter, over Venus, over the sun, and to really fulfill these lessons that we were meant to learn here. All right. And now, look, we also have Black Moon Lilith and Uranus conjunct again and exactly squaring Saturn. This is just, that Black Moon Lilith, man, is teaching us some lessons right now. It's like saying, hey, we're going to give you enough rope to hang yourself. And if you're going to be playing in these lands that you know ain't good for you, whatever's left of the internal victim or the internal saboteur or the internal wounded child is getting brought up through Lilith conjunct Uranus. Like, time to fucking wake up. And this is what is going to also spur, even just the Uranus-Saturn square is going to spur this next level of awakenings in people. The shit ain't over, guys. Like, if anything, this shit is going to keep getting more intense, just in a new, different way, in a way that we need, that we're going to start finding. Like, last year was all about breaking everything down, like everything went to shit, but a lot of people thrived, okay? And now it's taking all that, like, PTSD and all the trauma that happened all around the world, and people coming together, almost like after in a movie, after a town gets attacked, right? People come together and they rebuild. So this is the rebuilding stage, but it's a rebuilding in a new way that we've never seen before. And that's where the beauty is in this new Aquarian energy. And actually on the 23rd, look, we have another yod. I didn't see this one before. So it's a south node sextile over to Jupiter. And Jupiter in the south node quincunx over to the moon in Cancer. So the moon rules Cancer, and is also trine over to Neptune. This is going to be very intuitive. This is going to be a very like emotionally intuitive, like, bam, this is what I got to let go of. This is where I want to go. This is what I got to do. This is just getting a heightened sense of intuition. And with the sun being in Pisces, that's pretty on point and apropos for what's going on. And this is when the Mars is going to be exactly trine Pluto. So that's a beautiful sight with that yod. This is really going to bring us into this stronger connection to our own energy. Hell yeah, that's exciting. 25th, Venus moves into Pisces. So Venus loves being in Pisces. It's very strong. It's exalted. So this is going to be nice, and it's most likely going to catch up to the sun here pretty soon. Not this month, though. So let's, we're going to finish the month out strong. We have now, Mercury did not quite conjunct Saturn. It got really close, but it's like, you have a lesson, but it's okay. Like, we can learn indirectly or inadvertently, right? But then it's going to conjunct now when it conjuncts Jupiter again, it's going to be like, oh, now it makes sense. And I have a feeling that this is going to have to do with like some passion project, some new step phase thing that you want to create, maybe with your business. This is very like businessy, like, yes, finally the right people came together, and this is, community finally blowing up and growing. Like this is going to be big stuff. All right. And then of course on the 27th, we have a full moon at 8 degrees of Virgo with the Yod, with Saturn sextile Chiron. I mean, this is powerful, guys. 8 degrees, of course, is abundance, infinity. And with Saturn basically sextile Chiron all year, this is healing. This is being able to go in the deep, vulnerable part of our inner child, connecting to that deeper level of, being honest with ourselves about who am I? What do I really want? What do I really desire? And stepping into whatever is necessary to reset and clear out the emotional stuff that is blocking. This month is all about clearing blockages. Okay. This is a beautiful, beautiful energy. And you see, there's also there's this Yod with the direct opposition, and there's a lot of other stuff going on here too. And the moon is literally the only planet of the midheaven on this side. Everything else is on that side. So this is like internal. So this is really like how we feel internally is expressed out into the world. Okay. This is so powerful. I'm very excited. We're going to see a lot of awakenings this month, a lot of aha moments, epiphanies, maybe a little bit of difficulty, but the difficulty is in learning how to be patient with yourself, learning how to not get fixated on things like expectations and, like I should be here or I need to go, expecting too much of ourselves, guys, and getting so overly focused, maybe obsessed on a certain person or thing, process, project, just getting too deeply ingrained into this stuff that is meant to be flowy, okay? Not meant to be like, we're gonna be facing a lot of frustration, irritation within us this month. So create a practice where you can alchemize this energy in a very what's the word I'm looking for? Finding that strength in the vulnerability, finding that deeper truth that drives you to create the structure of what feels in honor of your body and your mind. Okay, for me, that's getting my sleep down, number one. That's the one biggest problem I have, right? Then once I get my sleep down, getting up in the morning, okay, and then going to work out, doing some HIIT training, just getting the blood flowing, getting moving, no matter how good or how shitty I feel, all right? And drinking my celery juice, because the celery juice gives me, my body, all these, micronutrients, doing this detox, right? Like not eating shit, cutting out sugar, fasting from different emotions, fasting from different, facets and areas of life that have been holding us back. We all have it, right? We all do it. So my pledge to myself and to you is that I'm going to take this month. I think I might start making this a monthly thing where, I'm going to hold myself accountable and work with my people, my coaches and my mentors and the people that I work with, because every coach has a coach, every good one anyways. And I'm going to start stepping in one day at a time until holding myself accountable, with the things that I struggle with, because we all do. And the reason why I talk to you guys about this is because, I know you can relate to it, right? And it just makes sense. So let's do this together, right? Let's optimize our health. Let's face our shit. Let's go through the trials and tribulations and see what we discover about ourselves and make it fun and exciting. Okay. I love you all very much. Have a beautiful February, and I'll be seeing you all soon. Check out the Opportunity Community. Jump on Telegram. The name of the group on Telegram is Opportunity Community. Okay. And if you like a reading from me, all that good stuff is going to be on the website, spiritualbodybuilder.com. Love you all very much. Aho.